Hello everybody, and welcome to my channel. This is going to be a channel about my love for books. I've had Bookstagram for a little over a year now, and I've just loved posting on there. I like posting my book reviews, I like posting the books that I want to read for the upcoming month, even if I never... Do not pull in my driveway. No. Okay. I like being able to post what I hope to read in the upcoming month, even though I never stick to it. I like posting what I've read in the past months, so this channel is going to be kind of a reflection of that, plus some book vlogs, hopefully, TBR, just like anything you can think of book related. And I'm excited to start something new. Today I am going to do a video on the books that I read in July, since it is August 4th. So let's get into it. So the first book that I read in July is called King of Sloth by Huang. I rated it 4 out of 5 stars. This book follows Sloane Kensington, who's a publicist, and Xavier, I think Castillo, and he's just like famous. His father owns an empire, and so he's very rich, famous, and just well known. Xavier is Sloane's client and one of her most infuriating ones. He really knows how to like push her buttons and just really get on her nerves. It makes for an interesting love story. I really liked how this book focuses not only on the relationship of the main couple, but also their relationship with the other people in their lives. It was interesting seeing Sloane's relationship with her sister Penn and how it differed from her like other family members. Anna Huang's books really never disappoint. They're just kind of always just good. But I'm excited to see what she comes out with next. So the next book that I read is Night Shift by Annie Crown. I originally saw this book on Kindle Unlimited, and I started reading it as like just a late night. I didn't have anything else to read in my physical TBR, but I just wanted something to entertain me. So I started reading it, and I got 2 chapters in, and it was so good that I had to stop reading it so that I could buy it and read it as a physical book, because I don't know, there's just something about reading the physical book and having the physical copy. So Night Shift is about this girl named Kendall who is very introverted. She works night shifts at the library and she loves reading. And so while she's working her night shift at the library one night, she meets Vincent, who comes in and he needs help with a poetry assignment. Basically, things get a little steamy in the bookshelves. It's her navigating finding love and romance when it's not in a book, which I thought that was really cute. This was a 5-star read for me. I don't think there was a single thing that I didn't like about this book, and that's saying a lot. It kind of reminded me of a Hallmark movie, but with more spice. And that's kind of weird because I don't usually gravitate towards Hallmark movies just because they're so predictable. But I loved this book. I think it's funny how she takes their love of reading and that they like talk to each other in like book community language. I think that's super funny. I really liked this book. It was really cute. It was such a fun, light read, and it just like, I don't know, it lifted my spirits a lot. So 5-star read. Okay, so the next book that I read is Will They or Won't They by Ava Wilder. So this story follows Lila and Shane, who are movie stars, and they meet on this paranormal TV show. Basically, they fall in love, have a little fling, and then it fizzles out, which causes them to be enemies. So then flash forward to the end of the 5th season of the show, and she leaves to go pursue other acting jobs. So then she returns for the last season of the show, and they're still enemies. I gave this book 2 stars. I felt like I liked the storyline, like the idea of the storyline, but I didn't necessarily think that it was well written. That might be an unpopular opinion, I don't know. I just felt like it was very corny. One of the things they have to do to promote their last season of their show is a magazine cover, and it's very risque. And I just feel like it was just so like, I don't even know how to describe it. I'm really bad at like describing books. I just felt like it left a lot to be desired. It wasn't my favorite, but I liked the storyline. Next I read Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood. Ali Hazelwood is just one of those authors that no matter what, I'm gonna read her books. I loved Love Hypothesis, and I think Love on the Brain was my next favorite. So she's just one of those authors that I'm going to read every book that she writes, no matter what. I ended up rating this book 3 out of 5 stars. This book was a really cute comfort read, but it was a lot different from her other books. I think she even said that it was gonna be more of like erotic romance than just like cute fluffy romance. The one thing I found when I read this book is that I didn't really connect to the characters as much as I had in her other books. I don't know why that was. There was a dog, I can't remember what his name is. Freida? Tiny. Tiny's the dog's name. I really liked meeting Tiny and just getting to see her like acclamation towards him, because at the very beginning she's very hesitant and she's not a big pet person, so it's kind of cool to see how she grows to love pets. Okay, I'm really excited to talk about this book. I have so many thoughts. Never Lie by Freida McFadden. This is, I think, my first thriller, and it did not disappoint. I'm so excited to read more of Freida McFadden's books. I ended up rating this book 4.5 out of 5 stars. This book follows a couple that just got married. Their names are Trisha and Ethan, and they're going house hunting. The night that they're house hunting, there's a blizzard, and they basically get snowed in at the driveway of the house that they're going to look at. So they decide to spend the night at the house. And it's this creepy old house in the middle of nowhere. There's no cell service or anything, and they're spending the night. The house, basically, it used to belong to this psychiatrist, Dr. Adrienne Hale, and she disappeared like years ago, and nobody knows what happened. Trisha discovers a room full of tapes from the psychiatrist. Turns out she's recorded all of her patients' sessions, and it leads, like, the story of her listening to these tapes is the story leading up to the doctor's disappearance. Oh my gosh, this book. I started it, I got like 90 pages in, and then I had to put it down for a couple days because I got really busy. And then when I picked it back up, I did not put it down until I finished it. That being said, every theory that I had about this book was wrong. Turns out everybody lied. Everybody lied. Everybody lied. I'm pretty sure that I wrote in my Goodreads review that there were so many twists I felt like a pretzel. This book made me so mad, but it was also like light bulb moments were happening almost every chapter. I was just like, everything is clicking into place, and it was very eerie. Okay, that's all I have to say. The next book I read is Hello Stranger by Katherine Center. Oh, I just want to give this book a hug. It's my favorite book now. This book follows Sadie, who is a portrait artist, and she gets a phone call saying that she's placed as a finalist for this art show. It's basically her big break as an artist. So then she finds out she has to get brain surgery. And after the brain surgery, she finds out that she's diagnosed with this condition called face blindness, which means that she can see the facial features, like the mouth, the nose, the eyes, but they're all jumbled up and in different orientations, different places on the face. So it's really hard to recognize people. Basically, it's her trying to navigate not being able to know who people are, recognize anybody, and also trying to figure out how she's going to paint this portrait for this show, and taking care of her dog Peanut, which is another thing that I loved about this book, is the dog. This book makes me so happy. Okay, yeah, sorry. I listened to this as an audiobook, and it was so good that I had to get the physical copy. I might have to reread it and annotate it because I just loved it so much, and there were so many good quotes. She falls in love with 2 different men, and that's all I'm gonna say about it because I don't want to spoil anything, and if I keep talking about it, I'm gonna get too excited and I'm gonna spoil something. This book was a solid 5 out of 5 stars. I would rate it 6 stars or possibly 1,000 stars if I could, but it was near perfection. This book overall was just, it was so sweet and so lighthearted, but like you learn so many life lessons throughout this book. Her life is super out of control and she doesn't really, she's like, it's really hard to like get your life together when you can't see, but there's always other ways of seeing things, which I thought was really like poetic. So I now have a new favorite author and a new favorite book all in one. I'm really excited to read more of her books. So the last book I read was The Bodyguard by Katherine. I rated that book 5 out of 5 stars too. I have a feeling that all of her books are gonna be 5 out of 5 stars for me. Basically, this book follows Hannah, who is basically a bodyguard. She goes on assignments around the world and protects people. She's hired on to protect this superstar, Jack Stapleton, from this stalker. His mom gets sick, so he comes back to Texas to their ranch to help her out. And he doesn't want anybody to know about the stalker or that he needs a bodyguard, so Hannah poses as Jack's girlfriend. I read that as an audiobook. I'm gonna put it up right here. I rated that one 5 out of 5 stars. I loved the story. I liked how unique it was. I don't think I've ever read a book that had a similar storyline to that. It was just really interesting seeing her figure out life. Her mother just passed away like a month beforehand and she lost her boyfriend and her best friend at the same time. So she's kind of out of control and Jack plays like a constant in her life. It's really cool to get to watch her grow and also her kind of figure out who she is as a person and not just like who her relationships are. Those are the books that I read in July. I want to make a video of the books that I want to read in August. I'm currently reading Hooked by Emily McIntyre right now, and I've got about 130 pages left of that, so that'll go on my August reads, but other than that, I have no clue what I want to read. If you have any recommendations, I would love to hear them. So thanks for watching. Bye!